CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Dodge Cars and Trucks. On the street or off the road, it's the new spirit of Dodge. U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
'49ers huddling around over in front of their bench. Here's what we've been talking about. The 49ers rushed for 153 yards, averaging 7.7 yards per carry. The Rams averaged 2.7 yards per carry. That won't get it done.
No, and then look where they got it done the most. Of course, Roger Craig got the biggest part of that rushing. And look, he got 32 yards left, 81 up the middle. Now, that's that trap against that nickel or pass rush defense. That's where the biggest part of his running came in the first half. And that's the part I think the Rams have to plug up. And you see the offensive line of the 49ers, they're standing over there looking at those plays. Now, here's how the 49ers pass distribution went. They threw 6 times to the wide receiver. They threw 7 times to the running back, completed 5. And then they threw 4 to the tight ends, completing 3. I know Bill Walsh would like to see that wide receiver attempt come up. And a big part of that is whether Jerry Rice, who we just see walking out on the field now, whether he can play or not.
Here's the play. He hurt his left ankle, and you can see it buckle underneath.
So what happened, I think, his left ankle buckled when Jerry Gray grabbed him by the face mask. It wasn't a thing where he was tackled around the leg or the ankle. He was tackled on the headgear, and his ankle went out. But I think the 49ers are going to have one of 2 things. Either Roger Craig going for another 130 yards or get Jerry Rice back in there in the second half.
John Taylor from the 5. James Washington down with Michael Stewart to make the stop for the Rams. Joe Montana, last night, as soon as the team broke the meetings, he went for treatment on his arm and his ribs. And then later last night, back in his own room, he had ice on his elbow and one of those electronic shock treatment things, which to work on his ribs.
I'm sure he also had a shot today in the ribs so that that thing is dead.
Roger Craig. Bernier taking Wilshire's place. Brought him down.
Now here's where Joe Montana's passed. You see, the bottom ones are the 4 short zones. The top ones are the 3 deep. So he's thrown deep twice to the left. He's thrown none deep to the middle and 1 out there to the right. That was 1 to Jerry Rice. 2 for 3 to the left zone, 3 for 5 in the middle zone, 5 for 5 in the second middle zone, and 1 for 1 outside. So you can see the biggest part of his completions are in that short area, less than 15 yards.
2nd and 6. That's why he's so hard to rush. Rams only sacked him once. Rathman hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain. John Miller. The word on Wilshire is that he did suffer a concussion and will not return.
You know, he suffered a concussion. The first thing they wanted to do, it was so hot on the field, they wanted to get him off the field so that the heat wouldn't be a part of that.
Alvin Wright, a little bit gimpy. Gary Jeter has taken his place. 3rd and 6. And Jeter put a move right off the ball. He just jumped right past.
Well, you know what happened on that, Pat? You'll see Jeter there right on the left of the screen. That's that eagle look. Giroux is up over the center, and Jeter's to the left. Now watch the left guard. He steps down to block Giroux, and no one gets Gary Jeter. You see it here. You see Zappullo. He steps down on to block Giroux, and Rathman, I guess, was supposed to block Jeter.
Henry Ellard fields it for the Rams. Cuts in between a couple of tacklers and some more. Now gets in the 49er territory to their 38-39, where he's knocked out of bounds by Sam Kennedy. Good return. 39-yard punt. A return of 19.
Again, I think that was what the Rams probably talked about at halftime is let's get up there, let's tighten up on that run so we can get them in that third down situation where they have to pass, maybe confuse them. Again, get some pressure on Joe Montana. Montana's there, and the phone is saying, who was supposed to block Jeter on that play, Rathman or Sapulu?
Everett just barely does get rid of it. Del Pino. It's picked off by Ronnie Lott. Del Pino was the intended receiver. Lott for the interception. Everett was hit just as he let it go, and that caused the interception.
That was part of it. He has a good pass rush here by the 49ers. We see Haley coming in. He was the guy who hit him, 94, Charles Haley, just as he was throwing it. But then I think the other thing is, the area Everett threw it to, there were 3 49ers in that area. What? 1, 2, 3 white jerseys there. 2 of them fell down. Ronnie Lott was the only one up, and he intercepted the ball. That was when you say, well, the quarterback shouldn't have thrown that. Well, heck yes, he shouldn't have. That's easy to say, but when you have number 94 on you and you can't see all those guys.
And you get nothing on the ball when you're being knocked backwards by Charles Haley.
Young, the quarterback.
Young is the quarterback now. Steve Young has replaced Montana. Hand off to Craig. Craig is hit at the line of scrimmage.
You know, Pat, last week, Bill Walsh just changed during the game to Steve Young to try and get a different look. Then later, Joe Montana came back in again. Then he hurt his rib. So this is something I think Bill Walsh is trying to get into, to use both Joe Montana and Steve Young. Joe Montana took a sack on that last play, but the word we have is there's no injury involved here.
Doug Dubose has replaced Roger Craig. Second down and 10. Young just gets rid of it. Over the head of Ron Heller. Incomplete. Under pressure.
I think that's why it's tough for a quarterback to come in like this just for a series or two, because you can see Steve Young here. He looks like he's throwing a sledgehammer. You know, he's too excited. And if you're excited and you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker, that's good. You know, I mean, you got stuff drooling out, you got sweat coming down, and, you know, combinations hanging off you. But if you're a quarterback and you need that touch, sometimes you try and throw a touch pass and boom, it just goes out of the park.
Third and 10. Fumble. 49ers get it back. Just fumble the exchange with the center, Randy Cross.
And I think that's the same thing. I mean, you change Steve Young's there in the sideline, and he comes in, and you can't relax your hand. You ever try that? The toughest thing to relax, I think, are your lower extremities. And I think that's why they fumble the snaps. I think that's why balls go off their hands, and that's why it's tough to come in like this for a series. It's not like a relief pitcher in baseball who gets to warm up in a bullpen.
Again, the Ram defense has done its job. Harry Helton's kick is a shank. Ball out of bounds at the 34.5-yard line of San Francisco. So the Rams will have another shot from fairly close.
And this is the area that John Robinson hopes that he can get a running game going.
Only a 13-yard punt. Just inside the 35. Rams have it first and 10. to stop. Give him 3. It's been a tough day for Greg Bell. He just hasn't been able to get any running room at all.
You know, Greg Bell injured his shoulder last week against Atlanta. He didn't practice on Wednesday, but said on Thursday and Friday that it was fine. And I think the 49er defense is playing a bigger part of that than Bell's shoulder.
2nd and 8. The ex-Charger fights down for a Ram first down at about the 22. Michael Walter on the stop. They're at the 21.
Yeah, we were talking about Michael Carter. Watch him here. He's a physical mismatch for Doug Smith. So what do? You have to give help. So they keep their left guard in, Tom Newberry. Now that is a physical match. When you put Smith on him, and then you bring Tom Newberry, 66, he is built just like Carter. And he's one of the best blocking guards in the league. So Smith may be a mismatch, but when you bring Newberry in there, then the Rams win that one.
On the blitz, and Everett takes off. Kevin Fagan tripped him up.
It was an interesting thing. Now when the 49ers bring a linebacker from the outside, Newberry now can't help on Carter. And so you'll see what happens. Here, Carter's going to come this way. Newberry would like to help, but he has to come out and block outside. You see it there? Now, Newberry, trying to help on Carter, can't get to the outside.
Pressure came from Fuller again that time as he blitzed from the outside. 2nd down, 7. For Ellard, Ram touchdown. A flag on the play. Penalty marker back close to the line of scrimmage. Tim McKyer was the defender. I think they're going to bring this one back.
Foul, unnecessary roughness, number 67 of the Rams. After the score, touchdown, 15-yard penalty on the succeeding kickoff.
Against Duval Love.
He's the right guard. We'll see the touchdown again. Now what happens if that had to be in the back after Ellard catches a pass? You see he runs a post pattern in here. He gets the step on Tim McKyer, and Jim Everett again throws that perfect pass. Now the 15-yard penalty will come on the kickoff.
Which means they'll have to kick off from the 20-yard line.
The 49ers should get good field position.
Lansford is bowling and holding. Of their short kick after the defense held twice, and it's 17-14. 49ers 17, Rams 14, 9:20 remain third quarter. The Rams scoring drive. 4 plays is all it took Jim Everett to get him in the end zone, and he threw that pass, that touchdown pass, under heavy pressure.
Well, heavy pressure from Michael Carter. Michael Carter got a big push on Doug Smith, the center, pushed him back, and then made a big dive. I'll tell you, as Jim Everett had to avoid that dive or step into that dive, and he hit Ellard for the touchdown. That was some throw, to be able to throw a perfect strike with pressure like that.
John Taylor back deep. Beg your pardon, Doug DuBose back deep. Singly. Lansford kick to DuBose, goes right through his leg. Back to the 10, inside the 10. And DuBose gets back to the 16. Now that's the break for the Rams. Delpino was down to make the stop.
That was a big break for the Rams because the 49ers should have had good field position, and now they don't. Let's watch that throw of Jim Everett again. Watch Here's Michael Carter. What's your pressure he's going to put? He goes right over. He starts Doug Smith going back. Now he's going to dive at Everett. Now Everett has to throw off his back foot. You're not supposed to do that, but look at the result of it. Here he gets the pressure. Newberry again had to go back outside, open that lane, and look at this throw to Henry Ellard.
Young is the quarterback, and so is Jerry Rice back at wide receiver, but he's limping. There he is, made the stop on Roger Craig with help from Carl Eckert.
Yeah, I think the 49ers are trying to get Rice in there. Maybe if he can't run, just to be out there as a decoy. Because you can see that's not Jerry Rice running, as we know Jerry Rice can run. But I'm surprised that Joe Montana's not in there. I can't believe that they would take him out now if there's nothing wrong with him.
I can't either. 2nd and 9. Doesn't appear to be anything wrong with him.
I mean, Steve Young is throwing the ball away, fumbles the ball. I don't know that you need a change at that time.
To Craig again. Larry Kelm is there to stop him. Gain of maybe 2.
Because it seems like after Bill Walsh took Joe Montana out, that this offense, for whatever reason, has just gone flat. Because Montana had him going pretty good in that first half with Roger Craig running and, moving the ball up and down the field. And he probably had a shot at Novocaine for those ribs, and maybe that's worn off a little.
That could be. 3rd and 7.
I can't believe you just make a change when you're ahead 17-7.
Terry Greer split wide to the right. Taylor and Wilson to the left. Young looking in that direction. That's very nearly picked off. And it could have been caught, too, by Wilson.
Mike Wilson is coming in against the zone. The Rams are in a zone. We see the linebacker come out, the safety come up. Steve Young tried to get it in that hole between them, and that could have been caught.
For the 3rd straight time, the Ram defense has stopped the 49ers. Henry Ellard, who nearly has returned to. Helton's punt this time is much better. Ellard doesn't have much of any place to go this time. Harry Sidney down to bring him down. 54-yard punt that time. The one before was 13. And then Washington takes on Green Bay at 4 o'clock Eastern time. And all of a sudden, the Packers are putting some points on the board.
Now their coach started buying them donuts, and they bought them donuts on Saturday before the game the last 2 weeks, and they won.
Everett back to Bell. Charles Haley stops Bell after a gain of 3.
Did you see Haley come flying across the field? That's the type of guy you need in today's defense, I think. Whatever that position is, whether it's a linebacker, the outside guy. Watch him. He's the outside guy right here. Now, that can run that play down from the backside or can run that quarterback down. The guy that has that type of speed that can get across the field before your back can get to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 7. Henry Ellard. I think he's right. Other teams are going to have to start double covering this guy.
Well, it took a while. Henry Ellard is having problems over the years of, contract and holding out and those types of things. And so they're not sure what Ellard they're going to see. Aaron Cox on the other side is a rookie. They're not sure what he's going to do. And I think whatever the Rams do in the first half of the season will dictate the defenses they're going to get in the second half of the season.
1st and 10. Here comes the blitz. The ball goes to Bell. 3 yards for an NFL update. Let's take you again to New York and Brent Musburger.
Pat and John, we hope this is not serious. Watch your monitor now. It's Denver. John Elway under pressure, and a would-be tackler rolls up after the block on the knee, and he has gone to the sideline. Gary Kubiak is now playing. No preliminary report, so we'll make no snap judgments, and we certainly hope John's going to be all right. Back to Pat and John.
Everyone hopes. But that's not serious. 2nd and 7. Everett under pressure again. Intended for Henry Eller. Again, it was Haley. Eric Wright on the coverage. Haley hit Everett just as he let it go.
I think right now probably Charles Haley is the most valuable player on this 49er defense. He's the guy that plays mostly open side. He goes to the side away from the tight end. He's going to chase that run down. He is going to be the guy who puts the pressure on the quarterback, and it seems like whatever happens, he's always hanging on the guy who has the ball.
Holohan on the move, 3rd and 7. Intended again for Eller. Incomplete this time.
See Eric Wright out there. He and Ronnie Lott and Jeff Fuller all wearing black shoes. And supposedly they did it last week, and the league office called up and said they were going to fine them. They have to wear white shoes like everyone else. And then they come down here to Anaheim, and you see Eric Wright again in his black shoes with pink stripes. Ronnie Lott has black shoes, as does Jeff Fuller.
Camarillo to punt. Taylor back deep for the 49ers. That one will stay up there a long time. Taylor has been tripped up like that 3 times. It looked like he had room to roam. There are those shoes. That's Eric Wright, number 21. Ronnie Lott next to him.
Watch Eric Wright here, number 21. You know, he was injured 3 years ago. He pulled a stomach muscle. But before that, he was one of the best cover guys in the league. And it looks like whatever he lost, he has it back now. That is great pass coverage. One-on-one out there, just mirroring the guy.
Montana back at quarterback. Flag on the play. You know, when they had that unit when they first came up, Eric Wright, Ronnie Lott,
prior to the snap, number 61 offense.
Dwight Hicks, and Carlton Williamson. They looked like they were going to be together forever and be outstanding together.
So remember, when they were rookies, Eric Wright and Carlton Williamson and Ronnie Lott, that was the first time the 49ers went to the Super Bowl, right. That game against Cincinnati.
New Orleans by 1 over Seattle. That's a big one. 1st and 15. Rathman moves in motion. Montana back to throw it. Gets the screen pass to Craig. Craig is picked up. Brett Bernier.
I still don't understand why the 49ers took out Joe Montana, because we saw, you know, Steve Young came in there and really just couldn't get anything going. And now Joe Montana's coming back in again. I guess it's easy to second guess when you don't get anything going. But it didn't. When you have a 17-7 lead and you take out the quarterback, I don't know. And you've done so well in the first half, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Jerry Rice, split wide right, 2nd and 13. Pass is picked off by Johnny Johnson. He is dragged down by Ron Heller. Jerry Rice was the intended receiver.
He's going to lead this ball in there to Jerry Rice. And we're going to see number 20, Johnny Johnson, as the safety. Now that ends up in a double coverage. Jerry Gray, 25, starts in with Rice. Now they have him inside out. As he starts in, Johnny Johnson, number 20, is waiting for him on the inside. So Gray has him from the outside.
see noticeably Jerry Rice was limping after the interception. And he really didn't make much of a cut. He's not well. He's not 100%. Everett to Damone Johnson.
It looks like the Rams now are getting away from that first down run. You know, they've been going and not having much success with the run and with Greg Bell. So now they get a first down and they decide, let's go for that ball control passing thing, try and hit the tight end. That had to be a good throw because that was against the zone and the safety and the linebacker were right there.
That was Jim Monhorst, the linebacker. He's replaced Ricky Ellison. Outside of Bell to the 20. Charles Haley. Ronnie Lott for the first two to hit it.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. If you can't get the running game going, just throw that little loop pass to your back and get him out there, and all that becomes is a long handoff. Remember, the 49ers were the masters of that years ago when they used to do it with Roger Craig.
With Roger Craig, when he was the fullback.
And that was their big play. And everyone said, well, they don't have any running game, but their running game was really that pass to Roger Craig, and that was what the Rams did.
Gaston Green has replaced Bell. He's got the ball. To about the 18, stopped by Haley and Fagan. No gain, maybe a yard.
Gaston Green was the #1 draft choice of the Rams this year, and they hope to have him as a big play running back. He only weighs 189 pounds, and he's not the type of running back that can really take a pounding. And I think John Robinson said if we can get him just to come in a little, not carry the ball 25 or 30 times, but just give us a big play.
2 minutes, 3 seconds now left to play in the third quarter. Greg Bell back. Robert Del Pino. Skip Fuller knocked him out of bounds. They faked that counter play. Just dropped it to Del Pino.
I'll tell you, that's an interesting thing. Now, what happens? Watch, they're going to pull the guard and tackle and fake that counter play. They fake it here. Now, Del Pino here sneaks back out to this side. But watch the guard and tackle pull. The tailback go that way. And watch Del Pino. He's out here all by himself. He fooled the entire 49er defense.
It'll be first and goal, Rams, from just inside the 10.
That's what you call misdirection, when you can take your left guard, your left tackle, your tailback, send them to the right, and your fullback to the left. You've really misdirected.
Inside the 20. That's what the teams have done.
There's the Rams have self-destructed down here twice.
Everett asking for quiet. Bell and McGee for the two backs. Head off to Bell. Hit by Michael Carter. Picked up 1 or 2, not much more than that.
You know what they could do, Pat? They could take that play and fake it, and Everett could bootleg, and I bet he'd be untouched. You see that? He handed off to Bell, and after that, after he faked, there was no one watching him. Watch this play. Now, say they just faked this play. Now, watch Everett up there on top. There's no one there. It looks like he could have taken the ball and just zoomed it right down the sideline. They may come back with that somewhere in this game.
Second down. Buford McGee wide open. Touchdown. Jim Everett's third of the day. He had 5 against the Giants.
for a pass. He won't throw to him. Whap, touchdown.
Well, the 49ers certainly didn't pay much attention to him. Lansford for the extra point. Holohan holding. Take the lead 21-17 over Bill Walsh's 49ers.
Let's just say it. Here's Buford McGee. He's just going to come out and get out here in the flat. And I think what happens, I think the 49er defense gets caught up with these receivers and just let McGee out there all by himself. Watch, they get the motion. That brings part of the defense over. The tight end goes to the inside. Look, everyone goes to the inside. No one goes outside with McGee.
There was a penalty flag on the extra point. The 49ers were offside. Rams 6 plays, 34 yards.
You know, and it all started, I think, the Rams coming up and the 49ers going down when the 49ers decided to take Joe Montana out as quarterback. It looked like at that point the momentum just changed from the 49ers to the Rams. Now the 49ers are going to have to try and get it back. Boy, that's good sweat for a quarterback. Usually see some old nose tackle sweating like that. When you see a quarterback sweating like that, you got a good rivalry football game.
And you got a good quarterback.
Yeah, he looks a little too clean to sweat, but that's not bad. See, that's good, you know.
3 touchdown passes today. Lansford set to kick it off. Taylor and Dubose back deep.
Now there's good sweat. Herb Pankey, the tackle. And you get there in those pits all day. Tom Newberry, Smith, the center. Those guys there, I mean, that's a good old sweat. That goes all the way from the head down to the toes. That's sweat.
Taylor. Grabbed inside the 15 by Michael Stewart. Flag on the play. Look at that offensive line. Well, let's see what the penalty is. But look at the Ram offensive line. They sit on the bench just as they line up on the field.
Got Doug Smith, the center in the middle, Newberry and Love on either side. The tackles outside the guards. That's right.
Illegal block during the return. Number 84 receiving team. First down.
Illegal.
There's the center. The right guard to his right. To his right, Herb Pankey, the right tackle. And to his right, the backup tackle, in case anyone goes down. It's a good idea.
I know it, yeah. Well, they're always ready to block. I mean, if they come over to the sidelines, well, they can pick up blitzes. Anywhere they come from, they got it.
First down. Joe Montana is the quarterback, and you can't hear him. First and 10, 49ers to the 12. The play looked out of sync. To Jerry Rice. For an NFL update, let's again take you back to New York and Brent Musburger.
Pat, Norm Johnson set to attempt a field goal for Seattle against New Orleans. But Atkins comes in and blocks it. It's scooped up by Dave Waymer. He goes for the touchdown. And now the Saints have opened up a little daylight. It is 17-9 New Orleans. Back to Pat and John.
New Orleans Saints seem to block a lot of kicks and come up with things like that, don't they?
They're a well-coached team. Jim Mora, one of the best coaches in the league. Done an outstanding job there.
Roger Craig, the ball carrier. Doug Reed made the tackle. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Rams 21, the 49ers 17. We now pause for a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. New Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette, antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized. And by Subaru. We built our reputation by building a better car.
Summerall, John Madden. We're at Anaheim Stadium, where the Rams have taken a 21-17 lead over the 49ers. San Francisco made one first down in the third quarter. Here's Montana. Roger Craig was the nearest 49er, but the coverage was excellent.
That was one of those things. Had Montana been sacked, then you would have called that a coverage sack. The Rams had perfect pass defense because there wasn't anyone or anything open. Montana looked left, he looked right, he looked middle, then he just had to come back to his fourth look and throw it away into the dirt.
2nd and 10. 49ers on their own 18-yard line. Pass complete to Wilson. Out of bounds. Montana took a shot. Jerry Gray was the defender. There's an injured Ram on the play also. I think it might be Gary Jeter.
You know, the interesting thing, the 49ers are going for a record today of road wins. If they win today, they could tie the record. New Orleans is also going for one up in Seattle. New Orleans is ahead, and the 49ers, of course, are down 21-17.
Montana is up, but Gary Jeter is still down. 14:50 left to play in the game. 21-17 just in the opening seconds of the fourth quarter. That is Gary Jeter. He had injured a knee earlier in the year.
In fact, he had both the knee and an ankle injury.
Just to summarize what has happened, Jim Everett, the Ram quarterback, has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Total yards, the 49ers 12, only 12 in the second half. And that's the story of the Ram comeback.
Jim Everett has finally matured into a real NFL quarterback. That's what Bill Walsh was saying this week, that in the past years he felt that he was in a developmental stage as an NFL quarterback, and he said this year he is an NFL quarterback.
Well, Everett himself said that to us, that he didn't really understand what was going on. Now he does. And a fakes. Has Rathman wide open. A flag on the play, however. Johnny Johnson knocked Rathman out of bounds. A gain of 17.
Montana just kicked the flag.
Out of bounds.
Holding against San Francisco.
Hey, Joe Montana knew what that penalty was before the referee gave the signal, because he kicked the flag. It was right at his feet.
Holding number 61 offense, still 3rd down.
That's left guard, Jesse Sapolo. You see right there, he got that left hand up there on the shoulder of Greg Meisner. Meisner's working, and then as Meisner goes into a spin, that arm that was on the left shoulder now becomes around the neck.
And brings up a 3rd and 20. It also comes in the view of the umpire. Montana up the middle. Pass is complete to Terry Greer. And how he got up, I don't understand. He was hit by Johnny Johnson. And I mean smack.
I was talking about a receiver concentrating. I guess this is what it means. I don't think that Terry Greer knew that Johnny Johnson was there. Watch him. He's just looking at the ball, catching it, and then the next thing he knows after he gets that ball in his chest is there's Johnny Johnson in his face. He didn't even have time to look up and sneak a peek at him.
He will next time.
Well, maybe you don't want him to. Maybe that's good. Maybe you say just concentrate on the ball. And that's the definition of it.
They give to Craig around the corner. Craig out of bounds, close to midfield. Leroy Irvin knocked him out of bounds. For another NFL update to Brent Musburger in New York.
Well, Pat and John, with John Elway on the sideline, Atlanta now has picked up the tempo. Touchdown pass from Bills to settle, and they're right back in it against the Broncos. 17-14, Denver still ahead. Back to Pat and John.
21-17 at Anaheim with 13:50 left to play. 49ers with Montana back at quarterback. They've got something going.
Well, when they took him out, they sure went downhill for a while, and now they're trying to gain back what they lost.
1st and 10. Counter play to Craig. Almost tripped up by Mark Giroux, brought down by Carl Eckern.
You know, Roger Craig is one of those guys that works out in the off-season. He works out 3 times a day. He runs distances. He runs. The thing that he said he thinks helps him the most is he runs hills and inclines. And he said that's the way you can learn to lift your knees high and keep your shoulders down by running up a hill. I tried it last night walking, and I can see what he means. It does work that way.
They swing it outside to Rathman. By Eckern. But that's close to another 49er first down, a gain of 8. Anaheim Stadium bathed in sunshine. San Francisco trailing the Rams at the moment with 13 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the football game. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Bill Walsh. Gary Jeter's back in the game. John Robinson, the Rams coach. Rams 5-1 coming in. 49ers 4-2. Montana just dropped it to Doug Dubois outside. Vince Newsom, Mark Giroux. With a good effort by Dubois.
Well, you know, the 49ers have 4 running backs. 3 of them are from Nebraska, like we talked about before. Roger Craig, Doug Dubois, and Tom Rathman, the fullback. And they all do one thing well, and they all do it the same, you know, is finish off a run. In other words, they're going to run the ball, and then when you come to hit them, instead of just accepting the blow, crack, they're going to explode into you.
2nd down. 90 yards. This is Sidney. Harry Sidney. And he is all the way down to about the 16. Picked up 13.
Harry Sidney is the backup fullback. Now, he's from Kansas. The only running back on this team not from Nebraska. Watch the blocking up there. There's Randy Cross. He fires in. He gets some movement going. Guy McIntyre coming across, picks up the linebacker, and McIntyre's block was the one that gave that soft spot and that hole for Harry Sidney.
Timeout, Rams. They have a 4-point lead at the moment with 12:27 left to play. This drive, San Francisco 10 plays, 77 yards, consumed almost 3 minutes. First and 10 49ers at the Rams 16. That's Craig, and Craig is going to score his 3rd touchdown of the day. What a remarkable runner he is.
You know what he does? He makes all defenses look like they're bad tacklers. Remember, we did the Giant game where we said the Giants' defense isn't a good tackling defense today. The Ram defense is not a good tackling defense today, but Roger Craig makes your defense not a good tackling defense.
His career high. They'll enjoy that dinner.
You know, last night he was so excited. He said, this game, playing the Rams down here, is like the Super Bowl. Yeah, I didn't know it was that big. He believed that.
The point is good. Well, watch it again.
Well, you know, the thing that he can do is what? He keeps his shoulders squared going up upfield. He keeps his knees high. He keeps his feet going. He never stops the feet. The feet never get planted. So you never have anything stationary to tackle. Those feet are always going in and out of the ground. The knees are going up and down, and the shoulders are down. Now, that's an amazing combination of what you can do with a body.
He looks like he's running hurdle race right there.
He even kicks out of blocks kicks out of tackles when there's no tackler. You know, the amazing thing about it, the thing that impresses me is this guy is full of life and spirit, and even the day before the game or 2 days before the game, I mean, he gets excited about this game. It's not one of those things where, well, I'm an old pro, it's just another game. Maloney, I think every time he plays a game, it's the biggest day in his life.
Hofer to kick it off. Over and above all that ability and what he's accomplished, he's a heck of a nice guy. Earl White on the right back. White outside the 20. Knocked out of bounds by Harry Sidney. He just made a very important run. Next Sunday here on CBS. Begins at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. Dallas goes to Philadelphia. Giants travel to Atlanta. Minnesota goes to Tampa. Detroit against Kansas City. And then Washington against Green Bay at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Next Sunday here on CBS. Ram first down at their own 22. Into the running back. Ellard makes the catch. Get Fuller wrapped all over him. But Everett got it in there. Picked up 11 and a Ram first down.
It was funny, the players on both teams this week were saying that these teams are so evenly matched this year that they could see the game going right down to the fourth quarter, maybe right down to the last 2 minutes, and they were very prophetic. In fact, I could see an overtime.
Holohan had it and dropped it.
Keena Turner was right there on him. Holohan, everyone says, probably has the best hands of anyone on this Ram team. In fact, maybe he has the best hands of anyone in the NFL. I remember John Robinson said his hands are just like Fred Biletnikoff. And then the minute you talk about hands being like Fred Biletnikoff, the ball goes right through him.
Well, he made that same mistake you always talk about. He let the ball get to his body.
That's right. If you have those good hands, the hands working together, you got to get them out in front of the body.
On second down, Everett back to throw. Gets it outside to Bell. He's hit by Ronnie Lott, knocked out of bounds.
The one thing that the Rams have to know now, and I'm sure that John Robinson knows that, Ernie Zampese, who was up in the press box calling the plays, knows that you're only 3 points down and you have plenty of time. And there's no reason to rush anything, to push anything, to force anything. Just let those things happen naturally. Just move the ball methodically as you normally would.
Ernie Zampese, 3rd and 9. Here comes the blitz. Dangerous. Eric Wright. Aaron Cox was the intended receiver. Wright was the defender.
Just the minute you say you don't have to force anything, you have plenty of time, they try and force something. It's hard to throw the ball straight up the field against a zone defense. And you see that Eric Wright was just back there watching Everett throw and ready to jump on that pass.
I could see a real collision about to develop right there. Amarillo's punt to Taylor. So the clock Clock will stop with 11 minutes and 12 seconds left to play. 40-yard punt and a 4-yard return. 21. Very warm in Los Angeles. In Anaheim, I should say. Dressed wisely. (24-21). Second half possession, lost 2. That was with Montana. Then he went out. He had to punt twice. Then he came back, threw an interception. Then he drove him 93 yards for a touchdown.
And Roger Craig has been such a big part of that offense. He's already gained 167 yards.
Montana chased out of the pocket. Gets it to Rathman. Rathman lunged forward for an extra 2 or 3. Fred Strickland. A gain of 5, they say. Fred Strickland made the stop. He was one of the many players involved in the deal that sent Eric Dickerson to Indianapolis. Actually, they got him in the draft.
Well, and then they got Greg Bell, and then they got all those draft choices, and they still have some stuff to come. I think that trade is something you have to look at a couple years from now and analyze who the Rams got and what those players are doing.
Craig, not enough for the first down. Brett Ferniez and Fred Strickland. He's had a busy day.
Well, I'll tell you, when you run that much and you are that busy, you're going to get some hits. 63 hits running, 16 blocking, and then receiving, he only had 3. So you add up all those hits, the number of times that Roger Craig was hit today, that's a full day's work.
3rd and 3. Montana with an audible, I'm sure. Puts Rice in motion. Gets it to Rice. That'll be enough for a first down. Rice didn't do anything but sort of jog around and find an open spot. And Montana looked at him from the very beginning.
You know, one of the things, Pat, one of the reasons to keep a guy in like Jerry Rice, you know, especially if you can't hurt yourself worse. I mean, if a guy can get hurt worse, you don't want to play him. But the Rams have a defense predicated on stopping or playing Jerry Rice. So by keeping him in there, you make the Rams keep doing those things they were going to do, and he's a pretty strong decoy, if nothing else.
34 seconds. Montana. For another NFL update, let's take you back to New York once more in Brent Musburger.
Pat, here's one of those warm moments for a backup quarterback. Gary Kubiak gets Sewell out of the backfield, isolated on the linebacker, and here it is. Touchdown, Denver. 68 yards, 27-14. Broncos in command. Back to Pat and John.
24-21. 49ers had the lead now with 8:46 left to play. Second down on their own 40-yard line. Rathman straight ahead. Stopped after a gain of 2. Fred Strickland again.
You know, in that 49er offensive line, Harris Barton has done an outstanding job today in pass protection. You know, he's been playing against most of the day against Kevin Green. And here he is blocking here on the defensive end. That's against Doug Reed there. But Kevin Green was the leading sacker, is the leading sacker in the NFL. And Harris Barton has basically had the job of pass protecting against Green. And we haven't heard Green's name much today.
Maybe once. Third down. Here comes a Ram blitz. Montana reads it, and so do the Rams. Read what he was going to do. Brett Strickland and Vince Newsom will pick up a 3, but the 49ers will have to give it up. New Orleans still defeating Seattle 20-12. Harry Helton back to kick for the 49ers. And Henry Ellard. Another kick off the side of the foot and out of bounds.
Barry Helton has had a tough time. Remember, he was the draft choice from Colorado. Remember, we had him in the preseason, and Bill Walsh was upset with him. They went and played in England, and he shanked one right into the sideline and right at Bill Walsh. He shanked one in a practice once and knocked the trainer out. Bill Walsh sent him back home to Colorado to work with his dad and his college coach. He came back. He kept him. And I'll tell you, that even on a hot day, that'll make a head coach more hot.
Oh, boy.
The punter shanks one on you.
Everett, no place to go except the bell. Pass complete, but almost no gain. Set up by Fuller.
Yeah, it's funny how this is such a big game, and both teams were so excited early, and now they get in the fourth quarter, and I get the feeling both teams have slowed down a little bit. That if someone can rise up here and get above this thing, they're going to win the game here. Because it looks that you know, and maybe it's hot down there. I'm sure it is hot down there, and it's tough. But this game and these players have really slowed up in these four quarters.
Pass is intercepted by Ronnie Lott, his second of the day. He just took it away.
That's why Ronnie Lott is back there. That's why Ronnie Lott is all pro all the time. Not only is he a hard hitter, a good tackler, a tough guy, but as we said before, he just has a good feeling. Look, he just sits there in the middle. He sits there. He's watching Everett all the way. Everett just, boom, throws it in there. Lott gets a jump on it and intercepts it.
It was intended for Henry Ellard.
You see, Lott is just sitting in there waiting. And Jim Everett didn't see Ronnie Lott. He's looking at Ellard. Lott was the inside guy. Crap, he picks it off. That could be the play that wins the game for the 49ers.
Fourth turnover by the Rams.
On that play, Eddie DeBartolo, the owner of the 49ers, will probably pay Ronnie Lott's fine for wearing black shoes in this game.
Here's Craig, and he's around the corner. And a 49er first down. Larry Jones.
You know, I think this is the type of thing we were talking about, that someone had to rise above it, and whoever did is going to win this game. I think Ronnie Lott did. And then Roger Craig comes in and gets another big run. Now, look, I mean, that is a warrior who has been through a battle. You look at him, I mean, the neck, the blood going down the arm. They're working on him there. 21 rushes, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Doug Dubose has taken his place. You better be in shape on a day like this. Here's Dubose. Down to the Ram 31. Doug Reed made the stop for Los Angeles.
In fact, Mark Giroux, the linebacker of the Rams, is out of the game with a heat problem.
Dehydration.
Yeah, that does take it out of you, because you're not only out there running in this hot weather, but you're carrying all those pads. And you ever notice in that helmet, it gets hotter and hotter inside there? I'll bet you inside a helmet is probably like 125 degrees.
On a day like this, I'm sure it is. 2nd and 8. Montana pulls up. And intended for Brent Jones. Out there with him was Jim Atlanta that time. Roger Craig again. All that work that he talks about doing in the offseason that he was telling us about and then training camp have certainly paid off for him today.
Not only that, but this is when it pays off. You know, you get teams and they get excited. You come out of the tunnel, you're all excited. You can play in the first quarter. But it's in that fourth quarter where it really tells.
There goes Mark Giroux. Dehydrated Mark Giroux. Rathbun in motion. And off to Vogt. To about the 30. Carl Eckern and Sean Miller. Brings up fourth down.
We'll bring up a field goal here. We're
47 yards.
47-yard field goal.
Mike Kofer.
That would mean that if the 49ers can make this, then the Rams can't tie him with a field goal, but they could still beat him with a touchdown.
No good. Wide right. It was far enough. That's Ron Heller. They're out of tight ends anyway. With Mike Frank. Mike Frank being hurt. John Frank with a broken hand.
You know, and the other thing that 49ers were going to do today was use a lot of free wide receivers, not use a tight end at all. And, of course, with Jerry Rice being hurt, then John Taylor had to play more, so they kind of took themselves out of that position. So then a tough day offensively for the 49ers in trying to do some of the things they wanted to. But Roger Craig has done such a big job, it doesn't make any difference.
Everett chased by Haley. Gets it out to Charles White. He is really... Jeff Fuller really put a hit on.
Haley's going to be the outside guy here, Pat, and he's going to come on a stunt. He's going to be outside, and then he comes inside. You see him go there? Now, as he comes inside, he gets a free shot straight up the middle, and Everett just gets the ball off.
They got a yard. 2nd and 9 at their own 31. 3:15 left to play. Everett straight back. Outside intended for Delfino. Incomplete. Stops the clock at 3:10.
I say the Rams defense has done well. The 49ers had that one long drive, but in the second half, they've done pretty well. And then they get the ball back for the offense, and the offense just can't get anything going.
They put Holohan and Willie Anderson in the game. Everett caught from behind, fumble. The Rams got it back. Duval Love. Now they say the 49ers got it back.
Now, I think the guy just pointed the wrong way because the Rams did get it. Duval Love jumped on the ball. I think the official just got turned around, Pat, because you see the fumble here. Now watch 67. Duval Love is going to jump on the ball and come up with it. So it was a Rams ball, and the official just got spun around. But the Rams are still going to have to punt.
It was Daniel Stubbs who put the rush on it. The rookie from Miami. Good kick by Camarillo. Taylor all the way back to his own 18-yard line. Drops out of bounds from there. The 49ers will take over. 2:18 remaining. San Francisco by 3. 24-21.
John Robinson's face is getting as red as that guy we just saw sitting there in the stands. It's painted. Hey, this is a highly competitive game. Their defense is playing well. They're getting the ball back for them, and then their offense gets it and turns it over. It can't get anything going, and they got this sparring thing going back and forth. The 49ers are able to kind of keep things going. They had that one long drive at 93 yards, and, of course, Roger Craig has been the difference in this game.
Word on Roger Craig is that other than being tired, he has a slight concussion. So he probably won't be back. Doug Dubois, however, is tripped up finally by Johnny Johnson, who will probably get the 2-minute warning before they run another play. 9-yard gain for Dubois. What a day he's had, and what a couple of runs he's made. And he's coming back in the game. Rams have 2 timeouts remaining. Craig replaces Dubois.
Again, if the 49ers win today, they're going to tie the record for all-time consecutive wins on the road. They just do a great job when they travel. I mean, it's something, there's a skill to that. And this is a team that has that skill down.
Jeff Stover strained a knee and departs on crutches. I guess if you're looking for a secret, other than Ronnie Lott's 2 interceptions, the 49ers have run the ball 229 yards, and the Rams have managed to get only 42.
And that's that record we're talking about. If the 49ers again win here, then that gives them 11 consecutive wins on the road. And as you say, 229 yards rushing, and the biggest part of that is Roger Craig. And you could go, and if everything else were equal, he's the guy that wins the game. He's the guy that makes the difference.
Anaheim Stadium, Anaheim, California. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. The score is San Francisco 24, the Rams 21. 2 minutes remaining. Summarize the game. Roger Craig has 191 total yards today, has scored 3 times. San Francisco has outrushed the Rams 229 to 42. You certainly wouldn't think that. Jim Everett of the Rams has thrown 3 touchdown passes. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited. 2nd and 2 for the 49ers. Rams have 2 timeouts left. Roger Craig. First down and more. Leroy Irvin. Johnny Johnson. 12 yards for Craig.
I think I would, Pat. I think if I had to start a team, I think I'd take Roger Craig to start it with.
Based on today, timeout Rams. Robert Redford. Part 2 is Monday. Rathman over the left side for a couple of yards, maybe a little bit more. Larry Kelm. Rams have 1 timeout left now. 1.5 minutes plus remaining. Roger Craig looks like he feels fine.
Well, he may still have one more chance to get a first down because the Rams still have 1 timeout to use, and the 49ers are going to try and make them take it now. If they don't, then the Rams should still get the ball back when they do use that timeout, if they can stop them on this 2nd down and 3rd down.
2nd and 7. Dubois. Stopped by Alvin Wright right at midfield.
And now the Rams use their final timeout, so the 49ers will have one more down to get a first down. And if they don't get it on this third down, they're going to have to kick.
59 seconds remain. 49ers beating the Rams, who just ran out of timeouts, with 59 seconds left to play. And he Testaverde had some day, didn't he? 469 yards passing.
The Bear defense is up to it again.
Yeah.
Donuts work in Green Bay.
Miami and San Diego in the fourth. New Orleans still beating Seattle. Rathman goes straight ahead. Alvin Wright again makes the stop. Pickup of 2.
Now the 49ers are still going to have to punt here. So the Rams are going to get the ball back. The 49ers can run 30 seconds off that clock.
Which they're going to do.
The referee is stopping the clock right now. I think they want to set it because they want to make sure when the ball was blown dead. Because, of course, the Rams can't do anything about it because they don't have any more timeouts. So they're going to figure out the 49ers won't snap the ball until they use up the time. The referee, Jerry Seaman, is trying to decide how much time should be up there. If there's 37, then, of course, they can run 30 off down, just leave 7 up there.
Well, there's 37 at one end, John, and 39 at the other end.
And I think there should be more than that if they're going to let them run 30 off. See, because you don't know. They stopped it now. You don't know how much run off before they stopped it.
Coming up next, 60 minutes, except on the West Coast. I'm still not sure what this is about.
Well, I think he wants to know how much time ran off the clock.
The 45-second clock was never properly started. Consequently, reset the stadium clock to 52, reset the 45-second clock to 45.
And now you wonder how much time they're going to let them run off. So I guess they have 52. And they let them run 45 off, and that would be 7 seconds. See, here's the last play with the clock in there. Okay, now it's when the whistle blows is when they should start the 45. So the whistle blew before 52, so they should have started at 54, I would say.
(24-21), and John Robinson is asking the team to come over to the side, and he's going to tell them what he wants to do. If they do punt it, they got to put the heat on, don't they?
I would think so. That's probably what he's telling him. He has 10 men over there around him, and I'm sure that he's calling for a punt block. And I would think in this situation, when the ball's at midfield, that you should bring all 10. Just let them go. And then the game, instead of having to go down to one Hail Mary pass, the game could maybe be on this punt. And you got a rookie punter. You know, we're talking about Barry Helton in their punt. You know, he's not the steadiest of guys either.
No, he isn't.
So maybe you put 10 guys up there and let the floodgates open on him.
They got it off. Ellard takes it. And the game's over. The clock ran out. So the 49ers, led by Roger Craig, defeat the Rams 24-21.
Niners and the Los Angeles Rams. This is a big game, though, for the Niners, a game behind the Rams and Saints going in. But a bad news for the Rams before the game that Joe Montana was going to be able to start for the 49ers. In 17 games going into today against the Rams, Montana had thrown for 31 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and completed 65% of his passes. And early on, Joe Montana said, "Oh, I'm playing the Rams? Good, because I can excel here, but it also helps if I have Roger Craig in my backfield." Here, the quick handoff to Craig, and watch Roger break one tackle, break another tackle, blow over another guy, get a block, outrun 2 more Rams. And, folks, this is as pretty a 46-yard touchdown run as you'll ever want to see. 7-0 49ers. Jim Everett has been lighting them up this year for the Rams, and he has a lot of rookies who help him out, like wide receiver Aaron Cox from Arizona State, and from 44 yards into the end zone for a touchdown to tie it at, boom, 7. Scary moment for the 49ers here. Jerry Rice goes up with a pass. Jerry Gray defending, has the face mask, pulls him, watch the right foot. Rice done for the half, but did play a little bit in the second half. That was good news. That play helped set up this one, a hurdle by Craig. Touchdown. Roger Craig on the day, you ask? Well, the former Husker, 22 carries for 190 yards and 3 TDs. It was 17-7 Niners into the third. Well, there's Rice on the sidelines. When Everett throws across the middle off his back foot to Henry Ellard. And quickly, the Rams are within a field goal, 17-14. They didn't stop there. John Robinson's club would have Everett to Buford McGee in the right flat. Takes the stick, gets the touchdown, 21-17. There's Everett's numbers on the day. Fourth quarter, though, the money man today wasn't so much Joe Montana, who left for a while and then came back. It was Roger Craig. I mean, this is unbelievable. 16 yards, early fourth quarter, 24-21 Niners. Not much John Robinson can do when Roger Craig has a day like that. And actually, you add up in Rathman and DuBose. Tell you, if the Rams fans probably hate Nebraska now for the way that all those guys can run in the San Francisco 49er backfield. So both clubs are now 5-2. You know, when the 49ers won the Super Bowl in '84, all 4 defensive backs, Lott being one of them, went to the Pro Bowl. Dwight Hicks, who was the safety then, along with Carlton Williamson, and a guy named Eric Wright, who's had some injury problems, but I think he's back, Axe.
I thought he had his best day in 3 years today. Wright was all over the place. It was good to see it. But another thing I wanted to mention about the Niners, forget about this quarterback controversy. They put Young in for 3 series. I guess Montana was banged up. His ribs are hurting. They 3 times, 3 downs and out. The game went from 17-7 Niners to 21-17 Rams while that was going on. Montana comes back in. He makes Craig a better runner. He makes guys block harder. In that land of white wine and tofu out in San Francisco, they like to be laid back and reserved about how great this guy is. This is a terrific quarterback, and forget about even questioning whether he should be in the lineup.
And the Niners now have tied the record set by the 60-61 L.A. and San Diego Chargers. 11 straight road wins, and a little plus for the offensive line for the Niners today, who went up against a team that came in with 36 sacks. Did a pretty good job. Roger Craig didn't get all of those yards on his own. When we come back, Bo in KC in Raider colors. Stay with us.